to...
They go to the church.
They go
and
to the church.
They see that everyone is dead. And they're thinking, oh man, we're too late. They've gone through already. And then that's when you see Loki kind of just sitting on the ground, totally shit-faced, and he's like, oh,
full armor.
Yeah, in their armor, in their heavenly armor, and that's when
no wings.
He has his wings ripped off already, and then they go up to him and they say, have you gone through the arches yet? Or have you basically been forgiven of your sins?
Yep.
And then that's when you see a body fall down from the sky, and he's like, oh yeah, it's Bartleby's been up there for a while. He just keeps on... We ran out of people to kill, so now he's just flying around picking up anybody and just dropping them from the sky.
Random people on the road.
And then he finally comes down, and he's like, oh, you're here you're finally here for the show.
Yeah.
And basically they're gonna get ready to go through, and then Loki's like, no, we can't do this anymore. Like, I'm really done. Like, this is dumb. And then Bartleby kills Loki because he's like,
he's human.
You're human now. You feel for these people too much, basically, and just kills him.
So he kills his own buddy, and but he's not forgiven, so he doesn't go straight to heaven. We don't really know where he goes.
They didn't really say.
Yeah, it didn't really say. Purgatory. And there's a big fight, and Jay and Silent Bob are fighting, and the Apostle are all fighting Bartleby, trying to sustain him or trying to stop him from going anywhere.
Oh, and that's when Jay and the last Scion, they hide behind some car or something.
Yeah.
And Jay starts pulling his pants down, and she's like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, 5 minutes left to live? You said we're gonna fuck now. Yeah. And then he has his condom out, getting ready to rip it open.
And he said something like, I don't want to be found like the John Doe Jersey fuck over there. And she's like, what? He's like, yeah, the John Doe Jersey dude, he's over there in fucking hospital. And he's like, how far is that? Like 5 miles? Where's like the nearest ski ball? He's like, I don't know, fucking the boardwalk. I don't have time to fucking woo you right now. What does he say? Yeah. So she basically figures out that the John Doe Jersey is God reincarnated through a person, but Azrael had the triplets beat him up to the point of near death, so they just keep him
in a coma,
so that his body can't be transported back to heaven and go on from there. But they figure that out, or she figures that out, and runs over to the hospital where he's staying, and he's on life support. And simultaneously, when she takes him off, Bartleby's gonna go through the church doors.
Yeah.
And when she takes him off life support, he dies. She gets fucking shocked, almost like a lightning bolt through her fucking abdomen.
Yeah, and she gets cut and starts bleeding all over the place.
Yeah, like instantly.
And that's when they cut to Bartleby opening the door.
Yep.
And see this huge light coming from inside, and then you obviously know it's God. You see this lady walk out with the Metatron, and then you see Bartleby just drop to his knees, and he starts basically crying. Yeah, except for Jay. And then,
kneel down, stupid.
Yeah, and he's like, "Who the fuck is this bitch?"
Yeah, and it's Alanis Morissette.
Yeah,
the Canadian.
Yeah, and then.
He basically says, I'm sorry for trying to...
cries in her shoulder.
Yeah, because he already knows, it's already too late, and he obviously knows, I think he says thank you for showing forgiveness for killing him, because obviously he was trying to defy and prove her wrong, or prove God wrong, and it pretty much backfired, so he was like, I'm sorry for trying to fucking... prove you wrong. And like the Metatron said in the beginning of the movie, or towards the beginning, he was like any human that hears God's voice, it automatically makes their chest cave explode, and then their heads explodes, and they had to go through like 5 different atoms before they figured that out. So they made the Metatron the voice of God, and all she does is like screams at Bartleby, and his head explodes, and then his chest fucking explodes out too. You know, he's basically sentenced to death from there. But so yeah, everything is pretty much put back together. She sees what hell he caused there and killed all these people, and she basically turns everything back to normal. Yeah. But during that time, Silent Bob comes back from the hospital holding the last Scion, and she's fucking dead. Yeah. She has blood everywhere, and both the Metatron and the Apostle are like, you know, she was just like a sacrifice, like a martyr or whatever, and basically he puts her on the ground in front of Alanis Morissette, God, and she Mr. Miyagi's him. Yeah, does the heals him. The I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. The Mr. Miyagi, what is it called? The wax on, wax off, brings her back to life, and she realizes that's God, Alanis Morissette, and
I like how she asks, why are we here? Like, basically, what's the meaning of life? And she goes, boop. Yeah, she touches her nose, and she just goes back to heaven. Yep,
that's it.
And then, what is it?
We find out
she basically says like, "Oh, I'm the last Scion," and then Metatron's like, "Oh, you were the last Scion." Yeah. And then he grabs her stomach, and he's like, "This is the last Scion now,"
because she wasn't able to have children. Yeah. That's why her husband had left her. And that was like the reason why she was like, well, what the fuck? Like
why is God real? If God is real, then why would he make me not be able to have children?
Where was God when I couldn't?
That was like her being paid back for her, for saving humanity.
Like the Metatron's like, yeah, you have a chance to play mother to the whole world by doing this, you know, so why don't you just do it then? But so she... during that time, Jay's like doesn't understand what the hell's going on. He's like, "What the fuck did you hug my head for? What the fuck happened to that guy's head over there? What the fuck is this?" Yeah. And so basically, God comes up and just gives him a kiss on his fucking cheek, and he passes out. Yeah. And so she's brought back to life, and figures out she has a kid, or she's gonna have a kid, and they basically go back through the church. And the Apostle goes back with them. The Metatron goes back, and
Hayek's character.
Yeah, the Serendipity, and they all go back to heaven, and live happily ever after. And we're left with Jay and Silent Bob saying, "Hey, let's go to the Quick Stop." And then they're on the church, steps or whatever.
When she kissed me, I
she's like, "What did he say?" He's like, "Damn, that bitch was hot. Yeah, she kissed me. I got a half a stock." Yeah. But dude, I this movie is fucking funny as hell, man. It's one of my favorites.
Yes.
Nice. What would you give this film?
8.5.
Yeah.
I give it an 8. Yeah.
I think I'd give it a 9.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I mean, just because of the story, like we said, the references, the continuity of the different religious points of view, and like how you said before, it kind of how Constantine does it. It takes actual
like quotes and stuff, and things references the Bible a lot, or religion.
Yeah, scriptures, or even passages, or even characters or stories.
It makes it feel more real.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like when films do that. I'd probably give it a 9 because of all of the different. The cast is ridiculously solid. Everyone in that movie played a really good role from front to back. Even I thought when I first saw it, when I saw Salma Hayek, I didn't know what to expect from her because I only seen her in From Dusk Till Dawn, and I didn't really know her as like a method actor. I think she might have did Fools Rush In, with fucking the dude from Friends.
Yeah.
But I didn't really see her as like an actor that was like that. And so when I saw her in Dogma, I was like, oh, it's pretty dope. And I thought they just all played well together, you know. And it was something that was different. That I really liked, man. I still, to this day, I really like that movie. There's a couple CGI parts that are kind of bogus. Like when they show the Golgothans shoot the shit demon at them, he looks really like computer CGI. And then when Ben Affleck is flying and you see his wings.
When he's coming down?
Yeah. Those were the only two parts that I was like, kind of whack on the CGI, but the rest of the movie I thought was really good. Yeah,
I think that had to do with maybe the budget.
Yeah,
I mean, because the cast was huge.
Yeah,
probably the rest of the money they had went into CGI.
Yeah,
but yeah, other than that, it was really good. Mm-hmm. Solid.
I'm surprised this was your pick, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like that movie.
I feel like this was like the first. His first film that really showed that he's like an intellectual.
Yeah.
That he's capable of doing something more, but also putting that stamp of his brand of humor within that intellectual stuff. And I feel like this was a perfect blend. And I think that's why it upset a lot of people, because he was able to fuse that so well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I think one of the head of the Catholic League detested this film, and for months after it came out, and told everybody not to see it, but he never took the time to actually watch the movie.
Yeah.
You know, until like way later that he finally requested a screening to see the film. So it's like, yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, at least, you know, like I've always said, check the source material before you talk shit.
Yeah.
At least see it once.
Yeah.
I think it was just because of the religious tones and anything that is just brought into the mainstream as that to them looks like a
exploited.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just made fun of a chance to make money off of it, or throw dirt on it, or whatever. It's not. I guess they see it as, you know, it's something sacred. Don't fucking touch that, you know.
But that's the thing, is that he clearly states that in the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
They say, you know, take it for what it is. It's just fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, none of the characters. We're not trying to offend anybody. Like, go into this with like with a lighthearted perspective, you know.
Yeah.
And and he basically apologizes
before the movie,
even starts. Which I thought was really cool. But I have a little clip of Kevin introducing this little like news segment that he was on. He actually went to one of the protests in his neighborhood
To protest the movie coming out
in Jersey.
Hold on. Let's listen,
okay.
I'll answer your question that way.
Yeah.
Welcome to Smart Archive, man. I'm Kevin Smith. If you ever watched An Evening with Kevin Smith or any of those Q&A DVDs, you've heard me talk about going to the Dogma protest and protesting and holding a sign with my friend Brian Johnson. When the movie Dogma came to a local movie theater where I lived at the time, the Sony Multiplex in Eatontown, a local chapter of, I guess it was the Knights of Columbus or somebody, said they were going to protest the movie, rally and protest the flick. And they said there's going to be 5,000 people, and 5,000 people in my neck of the woods would have been everybody I know, including my mother. So I wanted to see if my mother was going to be at the protest. So me and Brian Johnson, my wife Jen, made up these signs, protest signs and whatnot, with glue and sparklies. Dogma's dog shit. To hell with Dogma. And then we went and protested the movie. And when we got there wasn't 5,000 people. It was about 15. So I talk about in the piece on Evening With that later on I saw a news piece about it on the Channel 12 News. This is that news piece. It's always, you could see it online elsewhere, but here it is on our channel for posterity. This actually happened. This ain't fake, ladies and gentlemen. This is me and Brian Johnson going to protest Dogma in 1999, November of 1999. I think it was like November 12th, 1999. It might have been 11/11/99. In any event, it ran on the local news. This is what prompted my mother to be like, Tiger,